gubernatorial candidate for the Green Party in New York State, and he has some remarks he wants to make.
Well, good evening. I wanted to come down. I've known Louis and Marty, organizing around the issues of public housing down here in New York City. And it's a travesty what's going on down here. And I learned that as a candidate for the Green Party for governor of New York. They run me 3 times. And it's a travesty. And what I want to talk about tonight is a little bit about the whole crisis of affordability in housing and homelessness in this country. We feel it acutely in New York, but it's across the country. I'll give you some numbers from 2017. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition used U.S. Census data and found out that 7.8 million people could not find affordable units. And that included 400,000 homeless at that time. But it's hard to count the homeless. HUD, Housing and Urban Development, came up with a count of 550,000 in 2017. And over at the Department of Education, they found that there was 1.5 million school children who had spent periods of homelessness during the school year that year. And I know in New York City, it's about 10% of the kids do. It's the same in my city of Syracuse. So there's a housing problem all over. But then I think about NYCHA. Do you have a home, really? When in 2017, 80% of NYCHA residents had periods without heat during the winter. Maybe we should add that to the homeless number. When you got lead or mold, or your elevator's not working, or the roof is leaking, do you have a decent home? I don't think so. So this is a disgrace and inexcusable, and it's growing. Homelessness is growing as rents go through the roof. As Michael Sussman pointed out, $2,500 for a studio in Harlem? The policies of privatization are driving working people right out of New York City. And the rents are going up in the private housing market, but privatization of public housing is contributing to that. And this has been going on for 50 years. They built a little public housing maybe 20 years ago, but since really late Johnson-Nixon administration, they went from building public housing and maintaining what they built to Section 8. Here, take a voucher, go see if you can get a pardon. But we don't have source of income anti-discrimination laws in most places. So you take your Section 8 voucher to the, substandard housing in the hood. And that's what they call the substitute for public housing. It's supposed to give you freedom of choice. It just channels you into substandard housing. So here we are in New York. Since Governor Cuomo took office in 2010, homelessness in this state has increased by nearly 40%. The city's lost 75,000 units of rent-stabilized housing. And Cuomo brought with him a record from the HUD where they did privatization, kind of like RAD is now, but an earlier version. And they destroyed more units than they built with subsidies for private developers to build housing. So as head of HUD, he was destroying more affordable housing than he was building. That's what happens with privatization. And that's the problem right there. We got politicians in office. I don't care whether they call themselves progressive or conservative, Democratic or Republican, they are bought and owned by the real estate interests. The bankers, the developers, the landlords. And now one of them is in the White House. And they're not solving the housing problem. And that's the problem. Relying on the private market to provide housing for everybody has never worked. Because people want to make money in that market, they orient to the upscale market that's got more money to spend on what you build. And so people at the bottom don't have access to decent housing. So we need a new public housing program. A recommitment to public housing like we started in the 30s. It was a good solution to the problem of people not being properly housed. And NYCHA came up a couple years ago. They said we need $32 billion just to repair what we got. And the state has come up and the city's come up with nowhere near that. We got to keep pushing for that. That's just to, maintain the housing we got and bring it so it's a place where you can really live at. And what we really need to do is expand public housing to the point where we realize that housing is a human right. Everybody that needs a home has a decent home. So, as governor, I was demanding, we gotta find that $32 billion, we'll talk about where we get it. Now, for president, I looked at these numbers and I said, you know, we gotta build a lot of public housing. And I thought about when the civil rights movement went from civil rights, voting rights, and political rights to what they call human rights. And they marched on Washington for jobs and freedom. And they came up with a freedom budget for an economic bill of rights, which Roosevelt had talked about in his last 2 State of the Union addresses. The right to a living wage job, to an income above poverty, to public education as far as it can take, to comprehensive health care, a secure retirement, and what we're talking about tonight, the right to a decent home. And how are we going to realize it? Public housing is the solution. So what I'm calling for is a 10-year, $2.5 trillion program to build 25 million units of public housing. And because, for reasons I'll get into in a minute, we want that to be mixed income, but we want 40% of that set aside for very low income, so that 7.8 million and probably more that need an affordable unit are covered. And that's a solution to the problem. Now, I think there's a good proposal, it's going in the right direction, but not fast enough, from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the House and Bernie Sanders in the Senate. They have a Green New Deal for Public Housing Act. It commits $180 billion for 10 years to upgrade and build 1.2 million units of public housing. But we need 10 million for the very low income people. So it's going in the right direction, but it's not enough and it's too slow for people that need housing now. Now, I know something about the Green New Deal. I was the first candidate in the United States to call for the Green New Deal in 2010. We're coming out of the Great Recession. And Governor Cuomo was saying, I'm a real Tea Party candidate. He's the fiscal conservative. He wouldn't tax the rich. And our Green New Deal is both this economic bill of rights, including the housing, and investing in clean energy to stimulate the economy and get it going again. But back then, coming out of the recession, climate action is a big issue now. We were leading with the economic bill of rights. So we call it the Hawkins prosperity plan versus the Cuomo austerity plan. And that's become the signature issue of the Green Party for the last decade. Now the Democrats have picked it up. Unfortunately, they've taken the brand and watered down the concept. And we can see that here in this housing proposal. So they got the right concept, but we got to go a lot stronger than what they're talking about. Now, I would say we can build a coalition around this because building public housing is also a jobs program, it's a desegregation program if we do it right, and it's a clean energy program. It's a job program, obviously, because you got to build this stuff. And we have a Green New Deal budget that covers all the programs in this Green New Deal. And you can go to my website, HowieHawkins.us, and look at the numbers and how we got there. I'm not going to go into that now, but it would create 2.5 million new jobs, including 574,000 in manufacturing. So it's a jobs program. People looking for jobs, labor movement should get behind building public housing. It's a desegregation program. We're talking about mixed income like they do in Europe. Public housing in Europe, they got professionals, they got blue-collar workers, they got the single mom with kids with no income. They all live in the same developments. And New York City is the most segregated city in the nation by race and class. We can use this public housing to begin to break that down. And so that poverty is not concentrated. When you concentrate poverty, you concentrate the problems that come with poverty. And so people who want civil rights and human rights, they should get behind this public housing program. And then it's a clean energy program. Because we can build these and rehab and retrofit the buildings we got with solar and wind to power them, heat pumps to heat and cool them. And we can even, as we build the ones, build materials that sequester carbon in the materials so they're not in the air, heating up the planet, they're in the building, giving us a place to live. So I think this is the kind of program that we can build a much broader coalition than just those of us who are living in public housing or are homeless. There are a lot of people who have an interest in this program. So I think there's a possibility there for building a much broader coalition. So how are we gonna pay for it? Well, I developed a list, and I'm not gonna go through it and glaze your eyes over. You got a great list right here in this people's budget. And my list, I got this paper, it's on the back table if you wanna read it, because I'm just sort of using it to guide my remarks. And you can look at it, and I found over $30 billion in the state budget, for things like the stock transfer tax, which the traders on Wall Street pay and they get right back. They used to keep it, they got it in 1906, and since 1981, the government just gives it back to Wall Street. And it's pennies on the trade. I mean, they won't even really feel it, but it adds up. You know, it's between $6 billion and $16 billion, depending on how volatile the stock market was that year. That's an enormous source of revenue right there. You talk about 4 new tax brackets for millionaires, that's a $2 billion number. And I got a similar number from the Fiscal Policy Institute. They also say, we went back to the tax brackets we had in the 1970s for personal income and business income. 95% of us would be paying less than personal income taxes, and we'd still generate $10 billion more for the state, because they flattened the tax brackets in this state since the 1970s. And Cuomo's governor just said he don't want to do millionaires tax, he want to claw back some of that Trump tax. We should do both. So I would say, and the thing that, you know, what did it get here for a total? It's about, let's see, about $28 billion in city and state taxes on this people's budget. But once you got that revenue flow, you can borrow against that. And they got a total of $441.3 billion in this people's budget. The point is, and let me add this, the military budget, they say it's about $775,000 for the Pentagon. But you add in nuclear weapons and energy department, and all the things the CIA and intelligence community is doing, and in the State Department and covert action there, it comes to $1.25 trillion. We're spending more than the rest of the world combined. There's a lot of money there we could put into a federal Green New Deal of public housing, Green New Deal for public housing. So the issue is not finding the money. The issue is building the political will to make the government do it. And so, housing is not a mystery to solve. It's really, the tough part is, you know, the politics. So, thank you for listening, and let's get organized.